Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to That's Football. It's time. It's coming home starts here. It's England against Serbia. It's their opener in the Euro 2024 in Germany and we're ready to go. We've enjoyed this tournament so far. We've seen goals in every single game, but now is the time to watch England. This is something that I've been saying for months, that England are going to bring it home. What's that? It's coming home. It's coming home because it has to. It's not my style. It isn't me. I don't rate Southgate. I think he's absolutely useless. But I've been saying this for 8 months. We're going to win this tournament because we're going to do it despite Southgate. The players we've got, Harry Kane, Saka, Foden, Rice, Jude Bellingham. We have got the players to win this tournament and we've got a bench to come off the bench and win it for us as well. Ollie Watkins has had an amazing season. Cole Palmer as well. Anthony Gordon, Eze. Luke Shaw's coming back fit. Pickford's experienced. So's Trippier. So's Walker. John Stones. We are ready to win this tournament and I don't want to hear any doubters. This has to be our time. Has to be our time to do it. 100%. There's no doubt in my mind that this is our tournament to win. Some people are saying it's a bit quiet. I don't know why. I'll whack it up for you. I don't know why has that gone down? That has gone down. Apologies for that. It should go up again now. I don't know why that had gone down. Ghosts in the system. But it should go up for you now. That was weird. That was really weird. I don't know. Anyway, as I was saying, this is not me just talking nonsense. Well, it might be me talking nonsense, but I genuinely believe this has to be England's time. I'm old enough to remember 2004, we would have won it if Rooney hadn't got injured. 2002, we bottled it for 45 minutes against Brazil, who went on to win it, and they had 10 men. We bottled it in 98 because Beckham got sent off. We bottled it in 96 because we didn't get the Germans done in the semi-final. And the same happened in Italia 90. We bottled it at Wembley a few years ago against the Italians. We've got to change our mentality. This is a battle cry, everybody. This is victory begins at the end of your comfort zone. And I want the nation, or anybody who supports England, to start having that elite mentality that the Germans, that the Italians, that the Brazilians, that the French have. We doubt ourselves and it feeds into our team. We like to lose. We have to accept on the journey to victory, there will be setbacks. But that's not defeat. A setback is not a defeat. It's a lesson in what failing feels like. When a lion, and we've got 3, steps on a nail, it doesn't roll over, curl up into a ball and die. It retaliates angrily and devours what's ever in its way, even if it's an innocent squirrel. It gets angered by a setback, and we must do the same. We are England and we must take this opportunity. I am tired of us bottling it. We have got the players, and I hear the negativity and I hear people laughing. But I look at that squad and I go, regardless of Gareth Southgate, this is our time. This is our time and we have to have that mentality. We have to have that mentality. Success doesn't happen by chance. It comes by choice. And we must take that choice and grab that victory and believe. Because God, I know that we love to lose and we want excuses. And there shouldn't I said this 8 months ago. There are no excuses this time. There are no excuses. If we get knocked out of this tournament on penalties or we bottle it or somebody gets sent off, there are no excuses. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying we're going to win it. I'm saying we should win it. And if we don't win it, there are no excuses. You can't have the likes of Bellingham and Rice and Trent and Saka and Kane and Foden and Stones and Palmer. You can't have these quality players and then walk out of a tournament and go, it just wasn't our time. It is our time. This time, it's our time. And we have to go out there and grab it. And I tell you what, if I was Gareth Southgate, I'd be sat there now saying most of what I've just said then. That for most of our lives, the English have failed and wallowed in self-pity of what could have been. Every other nation that's successful would analyse those failures and scrutinise them, and people would lose their job. But we want to do a coach tour. We have to have an elite mentality. And I would be saying, if I was in charge of this team, that look, the best view in life comes after the hardest climb. And we are going to have a very, very hard climb. People try and climb Everest. They don't even come back. They die. It's a hard climb. But the view at the top is the best view in the world. Now, we're not going to die on this journey, but we are going to fall. We are going to slip. We are going to challenge ourselves. We're going to get to the point where we hit the wall and we can't breathe and we think we're over, and we're going to climb that wall. The hardest climbs lead to the best views, and the only view we want at the end is the Euros. And we need this mentality. We really, really do. This England team is the city of the tournament by far, says M. Parker. Speech reminds me of William Wallace from Braveheart. Clip it up. Clip it up. But I really am passionate about this. I don't think people understand where my demand that England win the Euros comes from. It certainly doesn't come from Gareth Southgate. It really, really doesn't. It just comes from, look at the players we've got. I said 3 years ago that the players we've got coming through, the Fodens, the Sakas, in 3 or 4 years' time, are going to be heading into their, development years where they've developed. And I said that between 2024 and 2028, we should be winning things. Well, we should be winning things. We can't keep putting it off. And all these people who say, oh, Harry Maguire being injured, that's a problem. Come on. Harry Maguire's been ridiculed for years. He's a big loss, but you can't say we're not winning the bloody tournament because Harry Maguire's injured. We've got to go out there and we've got to start well. And look, I've seen the games today. I thought Denmark were, a little bit disappointing, and Slovenia were better than I thought. But Serbia are a good side. Evening, Mark. First poll of the day. Is Southgate underappreciated as England manager? Says greatest of all time. I'm not doing that poll. He's not underappreciated. He's very lucky to be in a job. Where have you been all day, man? Says Rub. It's Father's Day. I've been out, been out. Welcome to Members Club, Mercedes. You're an absolute legend. And Blake says it's going to be nice seeing the English media and fans get humbled and realise they're not all that. And England's the most overhyped nation in football, says Blake. Well, look, we're always going to have haters. That's absolutely fine. I don't care. I don't particularly relate to the English hype of it's coming home. I don't particularly like Gareth Southgate, if I'm being completely honest. But as an English fan, I just look at this team and say, if it doesn't win the Euros, it's a bloody joke. Like, there's too much talent in there. Imagine looking at a French squad or an Italian squad with the quality of Saka and Foden and Bellingham and Harry Kane and Declan. I mean, you've got one of the best holding midfielders in Europe. You've got one of the best attacking midfielders in Europe. You've got one of the best young midfielders in Europe. You've got one of the best right wingers in Europe. You've got one of the best strikers in the world in your starting 11. Before you start wandering into everybody else, I mean, look, some people would say Kyle Walker's one of the best right backs in Europe. Some people would say John Stone's one of the best centre backs in Europe as well. If we fail, we'll fail because of Southgate. It's as simple as that, in my opinion. Anyway, one thing we haven't done is look at the. Well, you probably have. While I've been trying to inspire the team from a live stream, which is never going to work if we're being honest. But we have got the England team for you. Let me just take that. Is that England or is that Serbia? That's Serbia. There's the England team. As you can see. No surprises. I think we knew this team on Tuesday, to be honest. Southgate's son's probably leaking it out again. But we did know it would be Trent Alexander-Arnold in the midfield with Declan Rice, Bellingham at 10, Foden on the left, Saka on the right, Harry Kane up front, Trippier, Guehi, Stones and Walker. I think we knew this team. I don't have a massive problem with it. Would I have picked that team? It's just gone off the screen. Sorry, I wanted to talk about that for a moment. So let me just take that and pause, not party. Would I made any changes? I mean, Luke Shaw's on the bench. I wouldn't be rushing Luke Shaw back, but obviously he would come into the team when he's fit. I personally would like to see Jude Bellingham next to Rice with Foden as a 10. For me, I look at that team and there are 2 players out of position. Well, there's 3 players out of position. Trippier's not a left back. Foden's not a winger. Trent Alexander-Arnold's not a midfielder. So we've got 3 players out of position. Now, that might be tactical masterclass. If it goes wrong, 3 players out of position is problematic. I personally would like to see Foden at 10, Bellingham next to Rice, and I would be starting on the left somebody who's a left winger or Palmer, but I wouldn't be putting Foden on the left. I wouldn't. So Trent for me would be on the bench, Bellingham would be next to Rice, Foden would be at 10, and if I've got to put an attacking midfielder on the wing, I'd put Cole Palmer there. But we've got options. We have got options, yes. Do you think Denmark's ball movement will be a threat, says Prod? Cormac, welcome to the Members Club. We've got Player of the Season in 3 different leagues, and we have some generational talent. It's on Southgate if we Luke, says Luke. It's Sunday night, Mark, says Parker. Well done. Mark, amazing intro. We need you in the dressing room. Well, if someone wants to clip that up, I'm happy to watch it back. I was sort of riffing a little bit, but that's how I feel. That's how I feel about this. I feel that now is our time. Alan, welcome to the Members Club. You're an absolute legend. Make sure you smash a like and subscribe. Get involved. You're all very, very welcome on That's Football for England's opening game of the Euros against the Serbians, who we will talk about in a couple of minutes' time. But we are rousing together. Well, we're not. I mean, people, look, I know how it works. We may well... I actually wanted Scotland to win the other night, but that will not be reciprocated in Scotland. There'll be a lot of people out there that don't want us to do well. I understand that. That's the way it works. I've played the game. But I want to see a good start. The one thing I will say is I'm not expecting to see good football from England. I think we've seen some really good football so far, but I don't think under Gareth Southgate we're going to see great football. Yeah. No, you didn't, Mark, says Stephen. Yes, I did. I would rather Scotland beat Germany, trust me. A lot of people talking about Ten Hag quotes. Don't actually give a shit. I'm here to watch England, to be honest with you. But, at the end of the day, I'm not massively interested in what Ten Hag's got to say at the moment because I'm watching England, which is what I think most of England are doing at the moment. Let's have a look at these comments. Ten Hag, I'm in talks with Man United over a new deal. We still have no to find an agreement. This isn't easily done. We're still going to have to talk about this. Manchester United flew to Ibiza to tell me that I was going to stay. They disturbed my holiday. They suddenly stood at my doorstep, he said, smiling. Have told me that they spoke with Thomas Tuchel yet. They said eventually came to the conclusion that they already had the best manager. Okay. Wow. Thanks, everybody, for interrupting the England stream to tell us that Ten Hag is going to sign a new contract and Man United chose him by going to Ibiza. Didn't know that. Thank you. I forgot that Serbia have Mitrovic and Vlahovic. Let's have a look at this Serbian team, actually. That's what I want to do next. So, they're classed as the home team. Screw that. Babic, that's the bench, sorry. Rakovic, Pavlovic, Milenkovic, Valkovic, Kostic, Gudelj, Lukic, Zivkovic, Milenkovic-Savic, Vlahovic and Mitrovic. Now, for me, there are a few players that jump out at me there. I was actually looking at the Serbian side last night, and I think you could make an argument that they'd give Croatia a good game. So that's a good way to come into this game. I don't think they're a soft touch, Serbia. I think that obviously they're going to be well organised. Vlahovic, Mitrovic. I mean, Mitrovic is a handful. Some people we might concerned about our defence. How fit is John Stones? How nervous will Guehi be? We don't have a proper left back in Trippier. So yes, Serbia might have a goal in them. I'm personally going to go 3-0 to England. I think we're going to see an efficient start to England. I think we're going to see, I think that Denmark result for us really helps us. I think if Denmark had won, puts a bit of pressure on Thursday's game. But I think we're going to see an efficient start from England. I think we might win 3-0. But we're going to have to work hard. I mean, we're going to have to see a good performance. And I just think what I really want to see is freshness. I think so many times in my life, I've seen England come into tournaments and be nervous and tired. And we haven't seen that from other clubs. I thought Italy whacked the ball around so well yesterday, as did Spain, as did Croatia, to be fair. Germany as well. What I've seen from this tournament so far is that people don't look tired. I think the Qatari World Cup was weird because of when it was held. And I think teams looked a little bit bewildered. I thought the COVID Euros, again, was a bit weird because we didn't have full stadiums. And the first couple of days of the Euros, I feel like it's the first proper tournament we've had since Russia 2018, and it wasn't Qatar's fault, and it wasn't the last Euros' fault. But I think this feels like a proper tournament, and so far we've been really lucky that there's a few teams that have got injuries, and we've missed out on Harry Maguire. But apart from that, I think teams are coming into this tournament with excitement, exuberance, and energy, and that's what England have got to do because there are teams that, I know we beat Italy twice, and that's really important. But, sorry, I've just been asked about snacks. Got people around. Save some of the, what do you call them? Nachos. I think if we played Italy at the moment and we weren't up for it, they'd beat us. And this is the thing that I think England do really well. We're really good in the qualifiers because we're very good at qualifying. But we're not, sometimes we come into tournaments like Brazil 2014 and we fall asleep in the group stage and we're going home. And it doesn't matter how fresh or dominant you are in the qualifiers. If you come to the tournament and you're not ready, and Italy looked ready last night to me, I want to see England ready as well. Thanks for the follow, Alex, CD4, Corey. Thanks everyone who's watching on TikTok and on YouTube. Give us a subscribe if you're watching. HPN with a super chat says, why not use Konza over Guehi? Konza is more reliable, better on the ball, can control the area better, and he's probably more physical. Yeah, well, I don't necessarily disagree with you there. I mean, as I said, why is Trent playing in the midfield? I like Trent, but for me, I just put Trent at right back and drop Kyle Walker. I think Kyle Walker's overrated this season. I really do. Lee Berman says, I'm a little bit worried about Jude. All the spotlight on him. And if things go his way, he could easily get red carded. Yeah, I mean, I hope that doesn't happen, Lee. I mean, I'm old enough to remember Beckham in 98, Rooney in 2006. These players. In 1998, Beckham was the star boy of that England team. In 2006, Wayne Rooney was the star boy of that England team. They both got sent off. So, yeah, Bellingham, I've watched a lot of Bellingham in the last few weeks, and he has got that temperament where he can and has to control it. I'm sure he will. Do you think after high goal dominant performances from other teams like Germany, Spain and Denmark, we need to come out and make a statement, or not happening, says Marvin? I don't think we need to make a statement. I think we need to come out and win. I don't think you need to come out and make a statement in the sense that a win is a win. You want to grow into a tournament, and I think confidence breeds performance. We have a really good opportunity. We have a really good bunch of players. Cohesion's so important, as my man says on TikTok. Happy Father's Day, everyone, says Tudge. Get a perfect draft machine. Look it up, says AD. There we go. And I forgot that Serbia have Mitrovic and Blahovic, says Spurs way. I'm looking forward to seeing England, and we need to get behind our country and support them, says Callum. Thanks, Callum. Do you think Denmark's ball movement have done that? Cormac, thank you very much. I think that I don't actually expect to see... I never expect a Gareth Southgate England team to play particularly well. I have to be honest. For me, that's a bonus. But what we know about Gareth Southgate England's is that they can be effective. And I think there's so many match winners in that team. I mean, they're just showing Trent Alexander-Arnold free kicks. Match winner. Harry Kane, match winner. Phil Foden, match winner. Saka, match winner. We've got that. It reminds me a little bit of Solskjaer under Man United when it went well. The style of football wasn't necessarily the best, but you had players in that team that had moments in them, and defensively it was quite well organised. And Southgate obviously isn't one of the world's best coaches, but his whole career is based on defence. He was a defender himself. And I think if England can stay sturdy at the back, then we've got those moments players that can do something and change a game around. And we did it in the World Cup against somebody. I forget who it was in the World Cup. It wasn't France, obviously. It might have been the round before, where the team we played did quite well against us, but couldn't score goals, and then we managed to just get those moments. But look in the last World Cup, we drew against United States. They played us off the park. So you just never know with this England team. I think that we are, we failed to. We should have beat France. I think we should have beat France, and we didn't. We should have beat Italy in that final, and we didn't. It's about time that this team came of age. Hi, Mark. Bring out the Southgate dress if he gets to the semi-finals. I don't know where it is. I hate seeing the hate online for Trent in midfield because he's weak defensively, but then when they want Foden in midfield, contradiction, much says Psycho. If even Goldbridge can't do it in the AFC twice, why would Southgate be able to bring it home, says Chikorito. I'm a little bit worried about Jude. I've done that one from Lee Berman as well. Get your predictions in, says Damien. I believe that this is going to be a journey every single game where we'll have detractors and believers. I'm not a believer. I'm not a believer in England, but I demand we win it. This for me is a mentality. As I was saying before, this is about mentality. I don't expect us to play great football because we're managed by Gareth Southgate, even though we've got great players. I look at the collective and I say that collective should be going right to the final and winning it. But it will come down to mentality. And I demand we win this. I will not sit there if we lose on penalties in the quarter-final or the semi-final and go, Gaza, tears, boo-hoo, get the bloody bus out, let them go around London and we'll all cry and cheer. No. You look at the squad, you look at the performance in the last few tournaments, semi-final of the World Cup, final of the Euros, quarter-final of the World Cup, win it. Win it. This is not an ageing team like Croatia. This is a team that's getting better and better as a squad. We have to go and win it. I'm telling you now, if we were German, Italian, Brazilian or French, they'd be demanding a tournament win. Our press is weak. It lives up the arse of Southgate. We should be demanding a win. And people say that puts pressure on the players. Pressure is what makes you win. As I said, it's really, really simple. Victory begins at the end of your comfort zone. Like people say, don't put too much pressure on the team. But that's pressure is what Lewis Hamilton responds to. It's what Usain Bolt responded to. Winners respond to pressure. And we need to put them under pressure. We're saying that you should win this tournament. When France won the tournament in '98, they did it with home pressure and amazing quality, but nobody really predicted they would beat Brazil, and they wiped the floor with them because they believed. They hit that wall and they kept going through. And England have got to believe. Is Southgate that sort of guy that can instill that? This is probably Harry Kane's last tournament, isn't it, really? He will go to the World Cup, probably. But, you can't... Pressure makes diamonds. Exactly, says Johnny. You can't just keep going to tournaments and, maybe next time, maybe next time. It's got to be this time. It's got to be this time. But it's true. It is true. The best... As I said a few minutes ago, the best view comes from the hardest climbs. And this will be difficult. But pressure has to be responded to. Setbacks will occur. They don't have to be the end. They can be the inspiration. And we've got to work at it. And we've got to believe. And I don't want to see heads dropping. For too many times we've seen that. We should have beat France. I look at France, who went all the way to the final. And I'm not saying we would have beaten Argentina, but we should have gone to the final. And that all fell apart because Kane missed a penalty. You know, if Kane scores that penalty, we beat France. He misses the penalty and the heads drop. Players are in the tunnel. We're ready to go here. How have you seen the 10 card quotes? I know they spoke to Tuchel, but they said they already know they've got the best manager. Yeah, well, I agree with that, Levi. Fennick wants to see the Southgate dress. I don't know where it is. I don't know where it is. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. We've got nearly 20,000 watching on YouTube. Make sure you share the video, smash a like. It's going to be a big one tonight. I'm pumped up. I'm ready to go. We'll be celebrating goals. Well, I hope we're going to be celebrating goals. I'm going to go England 3-0 because I believe in the... I nearly said I believe in the American dream. I believe in the American dream, baby. Who sang that? Who said that? But no, I do. I think we're ready to go here, and I'm very, very much looking forward to it. I'm really loving the tournament. I woke up this morning and I put a tweet out and I said, you know what? No disrespect to the COVID Euros or the Qatari World Cup, but this feels like a proper tournament for the first time in years. I'd almost forgotten what it feels like to have a proper, you know, summer tournament where the weather's good. I also think having it in one country, in Germany, is great. Remember the last Euros, it was in Hungary, it was in the UK, it was in Italy, it was in the Ukraine, it was everywhere. So I think we're having a great tournament so far. Long may it continue. And yeah. Oh, I'm going to put this out. Let's have a look. I've already been sent my speech. Somebody sent me, Matt, the moderator, has sent me my speech. I'm going to tweet it now on @Mark Goldbridge. Bring me my sword. Bring me my bow. Bought up on England. I don't know the words to Jerusalem, but ready to go. Thanks for the follow, Martin and Oscar. Love that. I'd love us to play some good football. I was very impressed with Switzerland. I was very impressed with Germany. I was very impressed with Italy. I was very impressed with Spain. I would love to see us play some good football. I'd love to be... You know, it's very few and far between that you see England playing, you know, good football. But it can happen, and I hope we do see that. No offence to the other lads, but I prefer you on my screen, says Jeffrey. Yeah, I just can't do every watch along, mate, and I like to share it out. We've got some studios. Thank you very much. Levi, yes. Thank you very much for the super chats that have come in as well. I enjoyed Italy versus Albania, Iri. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. If you're on YouTube, we're only 10 away from 168,000. Bottom right-hand corner, subscribe. Get involved with That's Football. We're doing every single Euro game as a watch-along. 3 today, of course. 3 down. And this is, well, for me, this is the biggest one of the Euros so far. England against Serbia. And we're ready to go. I've just got the timer ready. They need to get some of these flags off the pitch. There's still 4 minutes for them to do it. Can somebody get the flags off the pitch, please? Of course, earlier on, Denmark drew with Slovenia, which is a good point for England. Slovenia were actually quite good. They played well. There's no two ways about that. Slovenia played well. Denmark would have expected to win that probably. They didn't. And I think that from England's point of view, we've got Denmark left next. So it's very, very important that we get back into it ASAP and, well, start off with a win. That's what I'm trying to say very, very badly. What are your thoughts on the starting lineup, says Lacey? Well, I think he's got it right. Well, no, I don't think he's got it right. I don't think he's got it wrong to the extent that it pisses me off. I mean, look, if Jordan Henderson was there and he was playing Henderson next to Rice, I'd be losing my shit, to be honest with you. I'm not massively fussed about how it's, you know, lined up. Sorry, I've just got a message. But I would have gone with Bellingham and put Foden more centrally, yeah. Okay, I'm ready to go here. I've got my timer ready. Stats carousel's working. Score prediction, I've gone with 3-0. Let me know what your thoughts are. I'm going 3-0 England. Mitrovic and Vlahovic as a front two. I mean, that might be interesting. Not many teams these days play with a front two. But I suppose when it's international football... I was actually thinking about this a couple of days ago. Do Serbia play Mitrovic and Vlahovic? I would find a way of doing it, because in international football, your rest of your team, you know, Mitrovic and Vlahovic will be two of your best players, won't they? You've got to get them in the team. If it's club football, you probably don't do it. But in international football, you've got to find a way to do it. You've got to find a way to get them in. Nick P says, my palms are sweaty. So much ingrained heartache from childhood. England don't win this squad. With the squad they've got, they never will. Why the England fans booing Serbia's national anthem? Don't know. Don't know. Bring my sword. Will you do a watch-along tomorrow for Austria-France? We're doing all the watch-alongs, Stephen. I'm doing all the 8 o'clock shows, definitely. I'm looking forward to Austria tomorrow. And it's nice to watch France and obviously Portugal on Tuesday. And then we've done the whole lot, haven't we, of the first lot. Mainu's not starting, Stewart. He's on the bench. The Euros has been the stars of the future. Youth, says Kevin Carter. Thank you very much for that. Look, I think you've got to get... The big thing for me is you've got to get Phil Foden into the game. And off the left-hand side, that is not ideal. Look, I'm older than probably most of you, and I have seen England do this so many times in the past, where we put Paul Scholes on the left wing and things like that. And I just don't want to be in a position where we see Gareth Southgate wasting Phil Foden. He's got to get him into the game. And Trent Alexander-Arnold as a holding midfielder has got to work as well. I think in relation to Trent, we're off and running. In relation to Trent, I've seen a lot of people like Neville and I forget who else, and a lot of people online saying, what's Trent Alexander-Arnold doing in the midfield? I don't think it's as big an issue as some people think. I don't think Gareth Southgate's trying to invent the wheel or be a hipster. I think Trent Alexander-Arnold can play that position. But what I would like to see is a little bit of, you know, we have got enough specialists. Conor Gallagher, Kobe Mainu, Bellingham can drop into that position. So if it doesn't work with Trent, I think you've got to change it. But he can do the role. There's no doubt about that. 20,000 watching on YouTube. Make sure you smash and subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Thanks, everybody on TikTok as well. Absolute legends joining in. You're very, very welcome. A bit of a chance there for Vlahovic, but Stones was very aggressive in winning back his mistake. And John Stones is going to be so important with Harry Maguire, obviously not part of it. He's had a lot of injury problems himself. But nice to see Phil Foden here dropping centrally. That's going to be so important. I mean, the interesting thing about interchangeability is that it's got to work. It can't be chaotic. Here's Saka. England up against a Serbian red wall at the moment. They're going to play deep and counter. That's one of the things as well, isn't it, with England, is that you are going to be playing against, you know, the reputation of having so many good players, people aren't stupid. They will look at it and see Bellingham and Foden and Rice and Kane and Saka, and they will know that these players are good players. So Serbia are probably going to sit in a little bit here. Left back is right-footed. Left winger is left-footed. It's strange as Shahin. But expect England to have a lot of the ball. Back with Pickford. We're playing in Gelsenkirchen, which is where Wayne Rooney was sent off in 2006. There will be a lot of English fans, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of Serbian fans as well. Seems to be a well... I mean, did you see all the Dutch fans this morning? It seems to be a really well-supported tournament so far. Raffaello says, I'm ready for Italy in the final. Long way to go for that, mate. Everybody's grooving. Everybody's moving. Cross comes in, headed away by Serbia. I'd like to see an early England goal because obviously Serbia are very obviously going to be sitting in here. And with regards to that, you're... I forgot, I didn't know I had a bit of blue under there. With regards to that, you've got to break it down. Hi Mark, hope all's well, says Will. Hope it's well with you as well, mate. Sebastian said, would you rather Guehi be a starter? I think with Guehi, it's about confidence, isn't it? You know, he wouldn't be playing. It would be Maguire and Stones. And Maguire and Stones have got plenty of caps together, plenty of experience together. For Guehi, you know, you want a clean sheet. And he'll be better in the next game. I've watched many a England player come into a tournament and find their way. I remember Rio Ferdinand in the 2002 World Cup, and you know, criminally he didn't get in the FIFA World Cup team. I think they put Sol Campbell in there, which was just incredible at the time because Ferdinand should have done it. So look, just because we've seen it with strikers doesn't mean that Guehi can't, you know, come out of this tournament with a, you know, really strong reputation. But confidence is key, isn't it? You know, if he makes a mistake, then that's problematic. But we're right in the Serbia half here. It's really is park the bus time. And oh, Bellingham plays Foden in, but his touch was not magnetic. It's a 3-5-2, says Maxim. Foden with a shot. I think you're right. I mean, I was just looking at the shape there. Trippier and, more importantly, Trent are pushing wide, allowing Foden, Bellingham and Rice to be very central. I wouldn't know. I don't know whether I'd call it a 3-5-2. I don't think Saka's next to Kane. I'd have to look at that for a couple of minutes. Mark, I'm not English. Why does the Millwall flag say no one likes us? It's pretty self-explanatory, you know. Yeah. You got to hold and give, but do it at the right time. You can be slow or fast, but you must get to the line. I'm just, yeah. I think without the ball, it's definitely a back four. Yeah, without the ball, we go to a back four. I'd have to look at the formation when we get back up. I think it's a very interchangeable formation, is what I would say. Booing another country's anthem, no class, says Mads. Look, there's elements of the English support I'm not interested in. You know, I saw some clips today of fighting and stuff. It's just, you know, I don't know why. I don't know whether it involved English fans or not, but it has done over the years, and it is embarrassing. But it doesn't mean that we're all like that. I mean, I don't know many people who would actually boo the opposition's national anthem, but Right, here's Trent. Well, I don't think it is. I would argue we're not playing a back five. I think what we're doing is very similar to what Italy did last night. Saka's definitely playing right wing. Kyle Walker's definitely playing right back. Trent's definitely in the midfield. But Trippier is pushing forward very much like a left winger and Foden's tucking in. So I wouldn't say we're playing a 5-3-2 because we've not got two up front and Kyle Walker's not playing as a winger because Saka's out there. I just think it's quite similar to what Italy did last night where they had Chiesa on the right, Scamacca up front, Pellegrini as the 10, Barella as the 8, Jorginho as the 6, but then Fratesi wasn't on the left. He was on the right, and it was DiMarco at left back that was like a winger. So I think we're sort of doing that a little bit. Italy's way of playing last night was very interesting. Very right-sided in their attack, but then used DiMarco to cover the left. Flash Talk says they booed our anthem, so we booed back. Serbia miss Matic, says Asifs. It'd be interesting to see. I mean, as a Man United fan, it'd be very interesting to see what Luke Shaw can do when he gets on. Make sure you subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. 23,000 watching on YouTube. Let's see if we can push up to 30. I mean, I do remember we went over 100,000 for that Germany game. Let's hope we can have that type of a tournament. Let's grow together on That's Football. We've had a great start to this tournament. Loved it. Good question here. Who was the last world-class centre-back for England? Rio, says Ross. I'm going to upset people here, and I know as a person he's not actually well liked, but John Terry was a very, very good centre. I mean, look, Rio gets a lot of credit, and he gets a lot of airtime because he's a pundit, but in some ways, I preferred Terry, and that's stupid because Rio's a United player, but John Terry was like Vidic, and I preferred Vidic to Ferdinand. I like a centre back who wins everything in the air, who's an absolute beast, you know. John Terry's in the same equation. I mean, Terry and Rio, again, we should have won. I don't want to be the History Channel, but we should have won stuff, really. We should have won stuff. When you've got Terry and Rio and Gerrard and Lampard and Scholes and Beckham and Rooney and Owen and Neville and Ashley Cole, how do you not win something? If you could replace one player in the starting 11, who would you replace as Cybergamer? Trippier for sure. Here's Kyle Walker. And he's given a foul against John Stones. Why didn't you go to Germany, Mark? Because everybody's in Germany. Like, everybody's gone to Germany, like, and that's great. And I would like to go, but like, for me, it's the creative. What's the creative? Like, it's very selfish creative. This is what I do. This is what I like doing. I like doing watch-alongs. Now, if they offered me something that was around that was good, I would do it. But, you know, I enjoy doing this. Do you have a soft spot for Italy, Mark? I think you mentioned having Italian roots, says Angel. I have got a soft spot for Italy, but I've also watched Italy over the years and they've been boring to watch. I enjoyed the way they played last night. I'm looking forward to that Spain game on Thursday because I thought Spain looked decent as well. I'm looking forward to seeing Germany again because how bad was Scotland is going to be the thing there. Portugal on Tuesday, France, Austria tomorrow will be very interesting. I think the Netherlands did well to win that game because it's 1 point. I thought Poland were going to get something out of it, and I think that opens the door for Austria. So I think that group's very easy, very interesting. Here's Foden into Trippier. We are pinging the ball around quite nicely, but chance creation in this first 11 minutes is 0. Do you think we'll get a Morocco in the tournament, says Nigel? And how do you feel about the lack of Man United players? Reflection of the club's fall from grace, says Donny. Well, no. I mean, Maguire would be starting, Man United. Luke Shaw would be starting, Man United. Kobe Mainoo's up and coming, Man United. Obviously, Sancho and Rashford, for me, should be in the squad, but that's, you know, down to their own personal drop-off rather than anything else. But Man United finished 8th in the league. Like, there is, you're right in the sense that here's a lovely ball into Saka. And the cross is good. Bellingham! 1-0! Number 10. And it's 1-0. And it's Bellingham. And people were worried about Bellingham at the start of the tournament. But that's a powerful header from Jude Bellingham. Lovely play by Saka on the wing as well. Let's not forget the cross. It's absolutely perfect. And you know as that's coming in, Jude Bellingham must be smiling inside as he smashes his forehead and hits the back of the net. But I tell you what, Saka deserves credit here. He does so well. Look at the ball. Look at the ball. And it's Bellingham who starts the move. He gives it to Kyle Walker. Watch the tracking run of Bellingham. He's unmarked. Oh, it's so good. Saka knows exactly where he wants to put that, although it does get a big deflection, so I'll take a little bit off the cross. But Bellingham gives it to Walker, into Saka. The cross comes in, and England have that early goal. Inside the first 15 minutes. Massive goal for Bellingham, and England lead 1-0. Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. And Serbia, the way they're playing at the moment, well, they're going to have to open up a little bit here because they've been very defensive. And England's probably England's first shot. Yeah, look at that. England's first shot. 88% possession. 88% possession. 88% possession. And this is what I mean. The early goal changes the game because Serbia have got to change the game now. That's abysmal. 12% possession is absolutely beyond park the bus. And England leading 1-0 here with a lovely header from Jude Bellingham. But it was great work down the right-hand side between Kyle Walker and Saka. And you love to see a good cross into the box. Lovely that. Who do you think will surprise? Do you think we'll get a Morocco in the tournament? We need to see everybody, Nigel. Thanks for the follow, Sob, and also RGB as well. Magnus says, how do you lose to Iceland 1 week and then score that goal? Wow, you know, it's tournament football now, isn't it? It's a bit different. But Serbia have got to open up a little bit now. This is why it's so important to get that early goal in. When you're playing against a team that parks the bus, you've got to score early-ish to make them open up. Jim says should send United stand reporters to Germany. Kevin and Ricky. What point would that be then, Jims? Thanks. Archie, thanks for the follow. Driz as well. Appreciate that. Serbia parking the train, not the bus, says Jack. Well, England have certainly started off here with a buzz about them. They really have. And confidence is everything, isn't it? Ballon d'Or. I don't want to... Rio said Vinicius Jr., didn't he? Ballon d'Or, Ballon d'Or, Ballon d'Or. I don't know what he's on about. Jude Bellingham, Ballon d'Or. Wins the Champions League in his first season at Real Madrid. Wins the Euros as a fundamental part of England. Ballon d'Or. The journey is there. But look, Saka's massively underrated. I mean, I'm a Man United fan. I don't like Arsenal, but I can watch football and respect it. And I don't... Again, I was talking about this on the United Stand earlier. Like, United Stand is, if you don't know what it is, it's the biggest Man United YouTube channel, and I'm on that a lot. And I was talking about Denmark's game, and there's people in the chat who are United fans slagging off Rasmus, and I'm like, I don't get this modern phenomenon in fan support, where it's almost like they like to go after certain players, and I've seen it with Saka. I don't get the criticism of Saka. I think the mentality of that player and how he's been such a fundamental part of taking Arsenal to the next level at such a young age is incredible to me. And it's almost like people just seem to want to, you know, identify Saka as a potential flop. And it's never going to happen if you know anything about his personality, his mentality. It's just not going to happen. And he probably doesn't get mentioned in relation to England anywhere near enough. It's always Foden, Kane, Bellingham. Saka doesn't get mentioned. And I'm like, I think he's... you know, he probably... What national team does Saka not start for in the world? Like, what team doesn't he start for? He will start for most of them. He can be a massive asset for us in this tournament. Can't believe we would play Trent over Mainu. Think Mainu suits the system so much more, says Danny. I actually wouldn't start Mainu. For me, I would start Bellingham next to Foden and go with the midfield three like that. I think it's so important to get Foden central. But obviously, you've got Bellingham's just scored a goal as a number 10. So, can't believe... Yeah, I've done that, Danny. Thank you. Serbia, thank you very much. Look, it's a long tournament as well. Like, I look at the group. Look, the exciting thing about the Euros is it's a journey. I know it's a journey. I remember in '98, I was out in Nottingham and we beat Tunisia in the first game, 2-0. A lunchtime game, boiling hot weather. After the pub, we went to Market Square in Nottingham where the fountains are. People were in the fountains singing "It's Coming Home." And, you know, it was too much too soon. It didn't come home. We didn't even hit the quarterfinals. You got to grow into the tournament. You know, it's a good goal. It's not coming home yet. You got to work hard. And for me, I look at that group and I go Serbia, Denmark, 6 points, Slovenia, get the job done. Simple as that. That's what we need to do. And then into the last 16, it's knockout football. You just got to mentally take it everywhere. It was World Cup 98. Sorry, it is in Tunisia. Road to Dawn says, as a Madrid supporter, Vinicius Jr. should be Ballon d'Or over Jude. Vinny was unplayable the last period of the season while Jude was inconsistent. If England win the Euros and Brazil don't win the Copa America, which I don't think they will, then Jude Bellingham should win the Ballon d'Or. Being as Messi got it for winning the World Cup, then if we win the Euros, Bellingham should win the Ballon d'Or. Otherwise, their own rules are being rewritten again. I hate England, but I hate bad football even more. I hope England beat Serbia. If they keep that up now, I need to go wash my mouth out with bleach, says Jack. Yeah, look, I mean, I want England to win, for obvious reasons, but Serbia have been disappointing. 17% possession after 20 minutes is bloody disgusting. I mean, that's the equivalent of Man City playing Stoke. It's shit. And I just want to check what my notes on Serbia were. I did a load of research on the Euros that we did on the podcast, and I wonder if I did any on Serbia. Serbia, 33 in the world. Their weakness is defence, and their strong point is attack. And yet here they are, parking the bus. Where's Tadic? I mean, look, the thing about Serbia is as well, Jovic, and we'll all know Jovic, used to be at Real Madrid, another striker. Oh, Tadic is on the bench. Tadic is on the bench, number 10. So, I don't know whether Tadic normally starts, but I wrote Tadic down as a player to watch for Serbia. So, have they gone defensive by not picking him? I don't know. P Dizzle says, "Aren't you the man who hates international football, mate? If you're gonna come for me, you better come for me loaded, because that's crap." I've been doing this for nearly 10 years. I hate the international break. I absolutely hate the international breaks. But I've always said, Euros, World Cup, love it. In a bubble. In the summer, love it. International break, September, October, November and March, can get in the toilet. Can't stand international football during a normal season. But Euros and World Cup, bubble, love it. 5-star, thanks for the follow. I didn't miss a Serbia goal. I shit myself then. Someone said you missed it. Missed a big chance for Serbia. I did. Danny Dorito says, no disrespect on Trent, one of the greatest attacking fullbacks in the modern era. Just risky leaving Rice on his own without a Mainu, says Danny. Sunday Night Troll, says Parker. I don't know whether Trent will survive in this tournament as we progress into it. I do worry. I mean, look, we've got to see how good Germany, Italy, Spain, Portugal all are. We know France will be good. But I think when you come up against those sort of teams in the knockout, you know, football at the highest level is not so simple as, oh, Trent, you're a right back, play in the midfield. Oh, Foden, you're a centre midfielder, play on the left wing. You'll get found out against teams that have players in position. I mean, you look at Italy yesterday, Jorginho's a 6, Barella's an 8, and Pellegrini's a 10. Like, you will get found out. So I wouldn't be convinced that... well, Serbia here, I mean, it's amazing, isn't it? Serbia have actually been better because they've had to start attacking more. But it'll open the game up, and if it opens the game up, then England... Hey, thank you very much. Welcome to the Members Club. England won't get past the first knockout round with Guehi. He's horrific on the ball, says HPN. Come on. Come on. Let's be fair. Let's give him a chance, everybody. Let's give him a chance. Serbia are waking up here, says Casper. Well, with 21% possession, you might want to bloody wake up. You've missed the bloody alarm, mate. 100 subscribers away from 169,000. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. I tell you what, Bellingham's a bully, isn't he? He's a beast. Physically, I mean, 20 years of age. He's been playing he played centre midfield at 16 in the Championship. That's just incredible. He's a physical specimen, and he likes to put it about a bit. Just giving a body check on a Serbian player there. And, I mean, that's what we're talking about, though. I guarantee you, some English fans will see him do that and go, I don't like that. Oh, I don't like that, you know. We don't like that. We don't like that. I do like that. I bloody like that, because that's what the Germans did when they used to win. That's what the Italians do when they want to win. You know, it's called mentality. You know, any edge you can get. Kyle Walker on the overlap. He's got space. He may as well shoot. Oh, he crosses it. And there's nobody there. That could have been a goal. That could have been a goal. And it wasn't a goal. This is what I mean. Serbia pushing forward and England there like a wave. Saka waits the ball perfectly to Kyle Walker. The cutback for Foden was there. And he sort of got stuck between a rock and a hard place, between shooting and crossing. And it could have been so much better for England. Ian says, I think Tadic had a fallout with the coach and he only got picked in the team because the coach would be crucified if he didn't. Oh, there's always all that sort of stuff in international football, isn't there? Bellingham bullied him, says Jack. English or Spanish, says Frederick. And yeah, but you know what? You know when Bellingham did that body check there, I guarantee there'll be a lot of people in their homes or in the pubs going, oh, I don't know that from Bellingham. Yeah, it's a bit sly, that is. It's not fair play. And I look at it and I go, oh, I bloody love it. Have some of that. That's the difference between winning and losing. Getting people's heads. You know, bullying them. But it is. It's not the English way, though. It's not the English way. We'll win it by being fair. Yeah, bollocks. You're never going to win it then. You've got to use the I've played the game, you know, and it's all about that. Yeah, he risks getting booked, but also it's about, you know, Serbia will be roughing him up. He's probably done that because somebody's left one in on him, and that's what it's all about. Look at Zidane. I always respect what Zidane did in that Italian game because it was like, no, you know, I might be one of the best players that's ever played the game, but I'm also going to put my head on you as well. Pace is key with this defence. Have a world-class midfield to carry the ball for the team. None of the Guehi hate, says Danny. Scotland need more of that and a better manager, says Jack. If Pickford touches the badge, it's a long ball, says Fraser. Has Fraser spotted something there? My nan could have played in the Championship when she was 16 and she's dead. Hey, come on. I'm all in. Playing in the Championship in centre midfield at 16 ain't easy. I won't have any of that disrespect on the Championship. You're talking out your arse. You're talking out your arse. Kane hasn't touched the ball. Well, in fairness, if you want a bit of, what do you call it? Reality. We've only had 2 shots in the game, and one was Bellingham's. So we're not creating a lot of chances. So best footballers are bullies, says Owen. I agree. Keane or Giggs? Keane, nice bot. Remember what I've said about England. I'm really pleased with the way we've started this game. Defensively, we look good. We're knocking the ball around nicely. But I don't expect us to play, you know, chance after chance after chance football. We're still managed by Gareth Southgate. So, you know, I wouldn't give Harry Kane any criticism here. We're still not creating a lot of chances at the moment. Clinical. The best chance of the game was Bellingham's and he scored it. Fisher says, why are Liverpool players so heavily criticised even though they're the best players in their position? I don't know about this because I'm not from Liverpool, but I'm sure some people are. Saka's in down the right-hand side. He's still there. And Bellingham's there as well. This is Trent territory. Talking about Liverpool, this is Trent territory. He'll love this. He'll bloody love this. Quick feet by Trent. Wins the free kick. And it's right in his... I've seen him put in the top corner from here. Take a look at this. This is perfect Trent Alexander-Arnold territory. And he might silence a few critics here. But I know a few people from Liverpool, and it's Scouse, not English. They don't actually... Like, I prefer Man United, and a lot of Man United fans prefer Man United to England. I'd rather see Man United win the Premier League than England win the World Cup. That is true. But I still like watching England. But there's a lot of people in Liverpool who don't like England. I don't know the story behind that. I don't know why it is. But a lot of Liverpool people don't like England anyway. They don't support them. Maybe someone in the chat will show us. Jude should be captain, says Urban. Well, he will be one day. Palmer on the right wing or Saka, says Brandon. Let's do a poll on that because I know what I think. It's definitely Saka over Palmer. Let me get that going. Right, this is a brilliant opportunity for Trent Alexander-Arnold. If he puts this in the top corner, the Euros is on fire. On fire. I'm telling you now. I can see this going in the top corner. I'm going to run. I'm just going to run. I'm going to run. I'm going to run to you. Oh, it's terrible. Absolute crap. It was so bad. There was no power and it was straight into the wall. Oh, that was a letdown. That was a letdown. At least Serbia's possession's gone up to 30%, by the way. That was crap by Trent. That was really crap. What do you think about the top? I don't normally wear the white tops. I've got the purple one, but I got sent this by Nike, and it's very, very. I actually really like it. I bought Seb the full purple one, but I actually quite like the white one. Saka with the cross. It's up again. Half an hour gone. You can tell it's been a good game by how quick the game's going as well. England playing with a lot of confidence, and confidence is so important in a tournament as well. I remember speaking to an ex-England... Well, it could be loads of people. You'll see videos out there of me talking to Sheringham, Paul Ince. But I remember speaking to an ex-England player about why things went wrong. And they said to me, look, you know, I think the tournaments that we nearly won, the atmosphere in the squad was really good. But when you have a bad start and you're away from home and you've had a long season... You know, it's not like you want to lose, but the mentality starts to go around the squad that this is not going to be our year. So confidence is so important, really. Thanks for all the super chats, by the way. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Thanks for all the follows on TikTok, and please do subscribe if you're on YouTube. We are only 100 subscribers away from 169,000, so make sure you subscribe. Bottom right hand corner, every game of the Euros on That's Football, so get yourself involved. Thanks for the follow, Reese, Mandu and Welly Boy. Game video as well, thank you very much to Thomas. England are efficient here. We've definitely been better than Serbia. There's no two ways about it. We've definitely been better than Serbia. The goal from Bellingham was well timed, but there's not loads and loads of chances. I'd like to get the second goal. I think what we've learned from this Euro so far is it can be a game of two halves. We saw that with Switzerland yesterday. I know they won in the end, but Hungary... I mean, Switzerland only got that third goal late on because Hungary were trying to get the equaliser. Certainly saw it with Slovenia today as well. So it's you can't take it for a given that England are going to dominate the 90 minutes. I'd like to get the second goal. 75% of you would go with Saka on the right wing over Cole Palmer. I have faith in this chat. Yeah. Saka, I don't understand the criticism that Saka gets. I just don't understand it. It's not that I can't listen to it, but good cross in by Serbia. Good header away. I think it was Pebbles. And Foden does really well. Oh, no, he didn't. He didn't. I thought he did. Time for a stretch. We're gonna win it. We're gonna win it. Yay! It's coming home. Yay! It's coming home. Can I go all the way round? You can't start a fire. It's a new celebration I've got. It's called the Anthony. How quick can I go? Wait. It's a good stretch that actually, because I mean the hands are on the ceiling to move myself around. You can't start a fire. This is actually really good. This is the new stretch. Good. Just got to get down now. There we go. That was good. We'll do that again. Because my hands were up there on the ceiling, it's actually a better stretch than the other ones. Don't fall, Mark. Yeah, we don't want any of that. Thanks for the follow, Mason. Wiggin says chicken legs. Man, I can't help my build. I'm definitely not going to the gym, so I'm happy. "35 minutes. Serbia having more of the ball. I don't mind that. I don't mind that. Somebody in the chat said, why aren't they pressing? I don't actually mind what we're doing at the moment here. What we're actually doing, I'm fine with, because that's bad by Guehi, but Rice steps in. Yeah, I like what we're doing at the moment because I think we have the potential to play through the lines quite quickly and get at their back four. Soak up a bit of pressure. Invite a bit of pressure. I'm not opposed to that. Thanks for the follow, Miggy. You can't start a fire. You can't start a fire without a spark. Steady. Definitely a steady start here. Get the job done. That's what I say. 3-0. I said 3-0. It's on. Here's Vlahovic. Good tackle by Bellingham. Rice. Another understated player in this team as well. Such a strong bench for England as well. Bowen. Dunk. I started off with the crap ones. I should have. It's Saka. Oh, that's a good cross. It's just Foden went a bit ahead of it. Yeah, I started off with the crap ones, but look, the bench I think is quite strong. Ollie Watkins, Wharton, Tony, Shaw, Palmer, Mainu, Gordon, Gallagher, Eze, Dunk, Bowen. It's a strong team and it's a strong bench. I'm not saying Dunk and Bowen are crap. I'm just saying we've got better players on the bench than them. Who's the player on the bench you think could have a really good tournament? Well, I don't know whether they'll get much time, but I do think Mainu and Wharton are interesting. Eze, again, is the sort of player that nobody really knows a lot about in the world of football. We do, as a Palace player. Cole Palmer's probably an obvious one. I mean, I can't believe how many people, like, I think Cole Palmer's had an amazing season, but he has got a massive fan club as well. I mean, I guarantee you in the second half, the chat's going to be going, get Palmer on, get Palmer on. I like Anthony Gordon. I think Anthony Gordon's another player that gets a lot of stick, but I think he was incredible for Newcastle last season. In a Newcastle team that struggled, I thought he was brilliant. And I thought they spent way too much money. Good interception by Rice. Look at that from Rice, bringing it out from the back. Good play by Bellingham as well. We'll have the free kick there. We'll have the free kick there, ref. Oh, he's been caught. I think they've clashed legs. It's going to be a yellow card for the Serbian. Let's have a look. Might be time for Mick Hucknall here. I go back to what somebody said at the start, though. Is Jude Bellingham a red card risk? Of course he's a red card risk, but that's what you get with these players that are just, you know, so aggressive in the way that they play. I think a yellow card's about right there. You can't start a fire. C3C says, what was your reaction when Rashford, Sancho and Saka missed the penalties? Mate, honestly, I was so... I'll give an honest answer, and I've given it before. I was so pissed off that we bottled that final. I didn't blame Rashford, I didn't blame Saka, and I didn't blame Sancho. It's a penalty shootout. I blamed the fact that we went 1-0 up at Wembley in a final where we should be winning it, and Southgate completely and utterly parked the bus and bottled it. But we never really analysed that tournament because, for two reasons. One, the World Cup was coming up so quick afterwards, like 18 months, and the FA were never going to make a change anyway. And two, the absolute disgraceful racist reaction took away from the whole analysis of the game. It was like, I don't think anybody really even analysed that game because it was just an absolute outpouring of racism that became quite rightly the story because it was disgusting. But really, from a footballing sense, I was pissed off with Southgate because we should have won that. We should have won it. Zane says that Saka and Havertz are the players of the Euros so far. I mean, Zane, I know you're an Arsenal fan. You're an Arsenal fan, Zane, aren't you? He is indeed. He is an Arsenal fan. Zane Mayarsi is an Arsenal fan. He loves everything from Arsenal. Not Ars, just Arsenal. And coincidentally, Havertz and Saka also play for Arsenal. But, I mean, how can you do player of the tournament so far? How can you? I think the Italian left-sided centre-back last night was very impressive. I think DeMarco was very impressive. You've got to say Yamal was impressive. Musiala was very impressive for Germany. But I feel we're not. Are we halfway through the first group stage yet? I don't even know if we are. There's a bit of a break in the play here because there's an injury to a Serbian. But looking at the group stage so far, we've had 2 games in that group. We've had 2 games in that group. We've had 2 games in that group. So we've had C. Yeah, we're just about over halfway today, aren't we, with this game here? We're literally only halfway the first group games. We've still got quite a lot of games to go. Yes, indeedy. Crazy to have 3 right backs on the pitch, says Nathan. McTominay's player of the tournament so far, says Robert. He would be if we were playing hide and seek. And Mark, do you see Eric Ten Hag comments before the game? Yes, Connor, I didn't think they were that significant, really. I think they were more common sense. But you should start the next United Stand show with the Anthony, says Ray. You were swivelling on it, says J-Dead. Christbridge, says Hessen. Nathan says, isn't it a concern that we've got 3 right-backs on? And Shahin says, how you rank England 98, 2006 and this team on talent? Well, it's got to be up there, mate. I mean, this team has got to be up there. I mean, the weaknesses of this team are Pickford and Guehi and no left back. But the weaknesses of the 2006 team would be the goalkeeper as well. I can't remember who was in goal in 2006. Might have still been David James. Jazz has said, who would win in a fight? What, you or a wild giraffe, and why? Says Jezza. Well, they're quite tall, Jezza. Dangerous whilst only 1 goal up, says Donny. Hey, hands up, mate. Hands up. You're absolutely correct. Especially in international football, you know, you do need that second goal. But look, Serbia, for me, probably started off the game worse than I thought. They're not a bad side. And, I mean, we've only had 1 shot on target. They've had no shots on target. So, really, it's been quite a tight game. And at 0-0, they had 12% possession. So, since the goal, it's gone up to 40%. So, the game is obviously going to change, basically, based on the fact that we've scored and they're going to attack a little bit more, of course. Irish lad says, you're 45 and you play FIFA. Really? Don't knock it, mate. I mean, you're obviously not 45, so how can you judge anything? I never understand that. I never understand that at all. Like, how can you judge somebody on an age that you're not at? Silly comment. Why do England always coast when they go up? Compare that to Spain, Dutch, France, Germans who go for the throat, says HPN. To be fair to England, and I'm not here to be fair to Southgate because I don't rate him, but I want England to win. Serbia were parking the bus. They've now conceded, so they're not parking the bus. So it's a different game for England now. And, I mean, look, what was I just talking about? England, Italy, Euros final at Wembley. Start really well. Luke Shaw scores. Parks the bus, invites Italy back in the game. Remember who the coach is. He's naturally conservative and politically, I would guess. If Gareth Southgate doesn't vote Conservative, I'd be stunned, by the way. But I might be wrong on that. Anyway, going back to computer games, I'll be 60 when I'm playing computer games because I'm definitely playing the new Grand Theft Auto and God knows when that's going to come out. Hessen says, I never knew there was a limit on having fun. It's a weird thing that some young people have that, you know, they seem to think when you hit 35, you put your pipe and slippers on and just do the gardening. And I just don't know many people who are like that. I really don't. I used to have a mate whose mum was 72 and on an evening she'd be on a PlayStation. Now, to me, that's weird. But when I'm 72, if I'm still playing PlayStation, bring it on. Why not? Is Bellingham just a good version of McTominay, says William. I mean, that's just like saying, is a bag of cement just a bad version of a Big Mac? Like, they're completely different, mate. Do you think if England don't win the Euros, who's the best coach to come in, says Nathan? I think Southgate stays as England coach no matter what, doesn't he? I don't even... Good cross! Good play by John Stones. That's a dangerous cross into the box. It's what you got to be careful about. We have sat off them since scoring. There's no doubt about that. And we can't keep inviting pressure. Curtis and Jay, welcome to the Members Club. N says, what's your secret, Mark? How does someone in the mid-50s look so young? Well, not being in my mid-50s is probably took 10 years off me. Callum says, how can you say people who don't watch football aren't welcome to watch the Euros? It's half time. It's half time. That's saved by the bell. To me, Trent is a better version of Ericsson. He's actually a defender and can also tackle, says Asif. And funny that we've been playing computer games since 1986, yet we're not allowed to do it now, considering our age invented them, says Nick P. Half time. 0-0. 1-0 England. Let me just pause it on the stats there because I want to come to that in a moment. What are your thoughts on that half? Honestly, I thought we started off quite well. I was very surprised by how Serbia started because from what I know, defensively they're a bit weak and their best thing is attack. But from 1-0 up, we seem to have gone on the defence, and I don't like that. I mean, it's very, very Southgate to do that, honestly. We've seen it so many times. We get the goal and we decide to defend. Or we concede a goal and we decide to attack. I don't know why he can't be consistent in the message that he sends out. You know, go for the juggler, get the game won. We saw it with Germany against Scotland. 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, get it won. Beryl's 57 and can still do the splits. The mind-boggling. Do you remember the coach Stojkovic playing, says Kenneth? And yeah, I think that... I don't want to be critical of England because I think that's not. We've got to believe, and we've got to be. We've got to win this tournament. You know, that's the bottom line. But we're not going to win it if we start off games like we did. We go 1-0 up, and then we invite the opposition back into it. I mean, the reason I wanted to show you the stats is because we like to show you the stats at half time, but it really does tell the story. For the first 15 minutes. Serbia have got 12% possession and we're dominating the ball. We score the game, we score a goal, and it's gone from 12% possession to nearly 50-50. So what's happened since we scored? We've literally took a step off. We've stepped back, and I don't understand that. You're dominating the ball, you score. Of course, Serbia are going to try and get back in the game, but you don't let them back in the game. We shouldn't be letting them get back to 50% possession. It's incredible. I don't know why we can't keep the foot on the pedal. And well, look, when I say foot on the pedal, we've only had one shot on target, and that was Bellingham. But what I mean is domination of the ball. Keep hold of the ball. And we've scored a goal, and we've took our foot off the pedal possession-wise. And it's exactly what happened at Wembley against Italy in that final. We score the goal and we take a foot back. You're not going to win a tournament by doing that. You don't get a goal and then defend it anymore. International football is not about that. Yes, Italy did it in 2006 with the World Cup, and they nearly did it in '94 in America. You get a goal, you defend, and you go through. But it doesn't work. Football's not like that. Look at the Brightons of this world. Look at the Burnleys who come up. They don't. That football's not like that anymore. It's really about intensity. You know, the constant press, the fight to keep the ball. And Southgate's a bloody dinosaur at times. We're 1-0 up. Right, let's sit back a bit. No, get the game won. Stay on the front foot. Since we've gone 1-0 up, Foden's barely been in the game. At 0-0 for the first 15 minutes, Bellingham's on the ball all the time. So, I know Burnley got relegated. That's my point, Mav. Teams come up to the Premier League and actually try and play football and still get relegated. Watkins, Palmer, Mainu or Wharton on ASAP, says the HPN. But I don't think it's the player's performance. I think it's the mentality. This is what we were talking about before the game. We got to go and win the game. Go and win the game 3-0 and then bring those players on. Don't take a foot off the pedal. Armac, thanks for the follow. Kaylee as well. Appreciate that. Please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. If you're on YouTube, we're only 10 away from 169,000. Legends, thanks for getting involved. Would I be looking at any subs at half time? I think that I would say, well, look, if Luke Shaw wants to come on at left back, that's going to improve us, but I don't know how fit he is. Trent as a holding midfielder, I would probably prefer a proper midfielder there, but I don't necessarily agree that he's been bad. Harry Kane's not in the game. I think creativity-wise, we've struggled. But above all, overarching all of that, I do think expectation needs to marry reality in the sense that Serbia are not bad. We're not playing Panama. We're not playing bloody Luxembourg. Serbia aren't bad. So it's the first game of the tournament. Let's win the game and then let's scrutinise the tactics. I think the second goal is key, as Ben says, but I don't think... Look, I think we always want to run when we can walk. And I said it before the tournament. England have to win this tournament with the quality of player they've got. However, oh, that was that Mitrovic chance that came from Trent. Yeah, I missed this, didn't I? I mean, that's close, that is. I'll be absolutely stunned if England win this tournament playing some of the best football international football's ever seen. We haven't got that coach. I said this after the Iceland game. The reason Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp and all these hipster coaches are good is because they're good. And the reason that, you know, Thomas Frank and everyone else like that is mid-table at best is because they're mid. They're not bad. They're mid coaches. And Gareth Southgate ain't even as good as Thomas Frank. I don't think he's as good as any Premier League coach. So I don't see England blowing teams away 3 or 4-0. Certainly not the Serbias and the Denmarks and the Dutch. I think the way we're going to do it is 1 or 2-0. 1 or 2-0. That's how we're going to do it. Because I don't think Southgate's capable of coaching a team like that. And I think... if anything, that's a defence of Southgate. I think, as England fans, we look at this team and we expect it to win 3 or 4-0 because it's got Bellingham and it's got Foden and it's got Saka. But it hasn't got Pep Guardiola telling them what to do. We've got coaches in Steve Holland and Gareth Southgate who I don't think would get a job in any top league in the world. So the style of football, I think, is always going to be a surprise if we play well. Despite the players. So maybe we're being unrealistic expecting, 10 shots with 6 on target. I think we're going to have to be clinical, and that goal from Bellingham was. I think we're going to have to be well organised, and look, they've not had a shot on target. And hopefully we can grow into the tournament. You said that this England squad would finish 5th or 6th if they were in the Premier League. Surely with a world-class manager, they would win the title. Squad value of over $1 billion, says William. Look, I think if Jurgen Klopp's the manager of this team, we win the Euros very, very easily. But look, Koeman for the Dutch, I don't think he's a very good coach. Martinez for Portugal, I don't think he's a very good coach. I don't actually think Deschamps is that good. I think one of the big problems with international football is the coaching isn't that good. I think a lot of international coaches are international coaches because they're not good enough to get top 6 jobs at any other top league. I mean, does Deschamps manage Real Madrid or Barcelona? No, he doesn't. So I think that's a limitation of a lot of teams. Evening, Mark. Playing good, but I would sub Trent and Foden. They're not playing that good. Also, happy Eid for everybody today and tomorrow, says Mohammed. Thank you very much for your super chat. Do you think Saka will move to a big club if he has a big good Euros? Has played out. You've done that to wind people up. You're a troll. How did England not qualify for 2008 Euros? Is nice, but it was McLaren, wasn't it? Yeah. Dara says, Mark, my eyes are bleached for that horrible kit. Nemo says, England is playing Serbia and they're playing defensive. You'll get stomped by Spain or Germany. Thank you very much for that. And Thanks everybody who's tuning in, of course. Oh, there was that comment before. Look, I think it was on Friday night for the Scotland Germany game. I went and got my haircut on Friday, and basically while I was getting my haircut, someone else was getting their haircut, and they were basically talking to the hairdresser, and they said that they don't really like football, but they'll watch the Euros because it's only on for a few weeks and the Premier League goes on for too long. So I had a bit of a rant saying, look, these sort of fans just piss me off. Like, they'll start talking to you about football and they've got no idea about it. You know, where are you when it's raining in November and, you know, it's Stoke and all that lot. And I've had so many pelters for this, like I'm some sort of gatekeeper for football. No, I'm not a gatekeeper for football. It's just an opinion. I do it with the NFL. If not a Super Bowl fan, I've really done it there. If an American football fan wants to ridicule me because I only really watch it when the Super Bowl's on, absolutely, I'm a fair weather fan. That's what I'm saying. If people want to watch, in fact, I'm not a gatekeeper because I guarantee you there'll be so many people with their flags out. It'll be incredible. But I do find it slightly nauseating. I've got to be honest. As a football purist who watches it 12 months of the year and all of it and loves it, I do find it slightly nauseating, these people who jump on the bandwagon for a month. And actually, I think it's less than a month. I actually think they'll go, I won't bother with the group stage because in 2014 they didn't even get out there. So I think what I'll do is I'll wait till the group stage is over, and then in the knockout stage I'll go all in. So I'm not a gatekeeper to football. And when I referenced raining, people were like, well, you don't even go to games. Well, that wasn't my point. My point is, I find it slightly nauseating when people get into football for a couple of weeks. It's got nothing to do with going to games. You know, I watch loads of football all year. I've been watching it since I was a kid, like most of you. So I don't think people actually got the context of what I was saying. I was saying I just find it slightly nauseating how people jump on the bandwagon of football because their knowledge is crap, and it's just a waste of my time. I don't want to talk to people about football who are asking me why Jude Bellingham isn't playing up front, and Harry Maguire's not having a good game. Well, he's not even there. And when's Jack Grealish coming on? Yeah, didn't get picked. That's what I mean. England fans hating on their own players will never not be funny. You don't see me slagging off Odegaard or Haaland because they play for our rivals, says Alison Becker. If Serbia's shirt pulls again, I'm going to lose my shit, says Boomster. Mark, why are you hating on Southgate? He's our best manager since Al Ramsey. My dad is 62 and says Southgate is the best manager he's seen in his lifetime, says Samuel. What's age got to do with idiocy? You can be 62 and still be an idiot, Samuel. Don't think because your dad's 62 and it's Father's Day, he's intelligent. I mean, he's thick, Samuel. I'm sorry. I don't want to say that about your dad, but he's thick. Gareth Southgate is not the best manager he's ever seen. He's just absolutely disrespected Sir Bobby Robson and Terry Venables. Southgate has, in my opinion, wasted a generation of England players. He should have won the Euros and he should have won the World Cup. And that's why he will win this tournament, because he can't do it 3 times in a row. I genuinely think if Sir Bobby Robson was alive or Terry Venables was alive, we would have won the Euros and the World Cup. This should have been our Spain. We should have won the Euros twice and a World Cup, like Spain did in 08, 10 and 12. We should have won Euros, the last one, this one, and the World Cup. And I'll argue that with anybody. We're as good as anybody. And tactically, we are... Look, if we win these Euros, Southgate will be the only manager in English football history to win a major tournament away from English soil. And he will deserve his flowers for that. But I will still say he's got the best collective of players I've seen in my life. The only one that comes close was 02-04, and we bottled that. Quarter-final against Brazil, 2-1 down, 45 minutes against 10 men, bottled it in the World Cup. And then 2004, We would have won it, but Rooney broke his foot. You can't do anything about it. So, you know, Sven-Goran Eriksson is, you know, sadly, I think he's terminally ill. And it's very, very sad. But I think if he was honest, he would say, we should have won it in 2002 and we should have won it in 2004. One was injury, one was bottling. So, you know, you look at Italia 90, we would have won the World Cup, but you can't argue with penalties. You look at Euro 96, we would have won the World Cup, but you can't argue with penalties. Whereas I think with Southgate in the Wembley final, we bottled it. I know we lost it on penalties, but we should have bloody won that game. And the World Cup, we bottled it as well. Yeah, ruthless, says Mike. Which game so far has been the most entertaining, says Legendary. Good point. What game do you think has been the most entertaining? The players are coming out for the second half here. I think that... I think Switzerland-Hungary was a good game. Croatia-Spain was good as well. I mean, the only problem with Croatia-Spain was that Croatia needed to score a couple of the bloody goals they should have done. Capello is miles ahead of Southgate as a manager. Oh, I didn't like Capello as manager, though. Well, Ilic is coming on here for Serbia. About to kick off the second half. What country is Sarajevo in? I should know that. Can you do the next England match in a bikini? Mate, I will wear a bikini, but you're going to have to give me, like, a hell of a lot of money to do that. It's not long, but sure is skinny, says Reb. I don't know what he's talking about. Would it be a bigger failure if this generation doesn't win a trophy or the golden generation with Beckham, says Alex? I think this generation, because I think football, if you look at, I think that's a great question. But when I look at the golden generation of Beckham, that was 2002 specifically to 2006. So you look at 2002 to 2006 in domestic football, what were English teams doing in Europe? Not a lot. So you look at this golden generation and we've had multiple Champions League finalists and winners, and the Premier League is the best league in the world. So I think for us not to win anything in this generation would be more disappointing than 02 to 06, because the Premier League wasn't the best league in the world then either. Good question, Alex. Give yourself a tap on the back. Should the US empty the bank account of Klopp, says Natalie. I don't know what you're talking about. Mark, this England team is as weak as my nan, says the Irish lad. It's 1-0 to England at the moment. I just hope we can be a little bit more progressive in the second half. I think it's been disappointing how we went 1-0 up and then sat back a bit. But here's Harry Kane. Eye the needle pass, referee gets in the way. He can't do anything about it. Shut up, Kane, and get on with it. He can't do anything about it. You hit him. So let it out and let it in. Hey Jude, begin. Oh, Harry, the world upon your shoulder. I don't even like the Beatles. I think they're overrated. I actually think Aha are a better band than the Beatles. Probably quite a controversial opinion, but I genuinely prefer Aha's two good songs than anything by the Beatles. I think The Sun Always Shines on TV is better than any Beatles song. Deal with it. Serbia on the attack. Well done by Guehi into Rice. I think Rice has had a good game. I do. Saka, we need to end that poll. Norwegian band, aha, says Elfsberg. Yeah. Oh, good tackle again. Rice. That's a bad ball. But it's a good ball by Trent. I thought it was a bad ball. Into Saka. Win the free kick. Oh, unlucky. He's tried to play that out wide to Bellingham. Boring England, says 58 Go. Hope you're doing well, pal. I need a stretch. I'll go for a more traditional stretch. I think the chair thing worried people. Oh, yes. I think Rice has played really well. Can you shout out my dad, Tony? He always watches you and it's for my Father's Day present to him. I just want to be a good son, says DP. Shout out, Tony. That's a good Father's Day present, actually. I got pyjamas from Seb. Like summer pyjamas, you know, like the shorts and the t-shirt. And he got himself a matching pair. In a kid's size. Obviously, they'd be too big for him if he got them actually the same. Get a standing desk, says Fennec. I do need a standing desk. I think it will take watch-alongs to another level. But I'm here all week. I'm here all week. There's people in the chat going, I don't get it. Get out. You're not here. You're not ready for this level of commentary. Fennec deserves an assist for that. That was like Odegaard into prime Van Nistelrooy. That was brilliant banter. No Beatles, no Oasis, says Lennox. $50. So, bloody hell, Phil Foden's very deep there, taking the ball off Pickford. I tell you what, to be fair to Serbia, though, they're not bad. That's very good play there. He's won it off Trent, but Rice again. I think Rice is having a very good game. I think, you know, understated to some, but I think in this second half you can really see it. Thanks for the follow, Luby. Pavlovic is good, says Dictator. Trent's a bit of a liability, says Mark. Well, you know what? I feel bad for Trent because I think that he will struggle to hold his place in this team because of the media pressure around him. Howder says, that was a real deja vu when you hid behind a chair once or twice. That was 7-0, mate. Why does Foden do nothing for England, says Mario. Probably because he's out of position. It's like, look, I don't like Man City, so I don't like Foden, but I do have sympathy for Foden. I mean, I can't stand criticism of players being played out of position. Trent isn't playing in the midfield for Liverpool. Like, I'm sure he wants to play for England, but he's not playing in that position for Liverpool. And if it was, you know, it is slightly frustrating when players get criticised because a coach puts them in a position, out of position. Now, of course, you're going to rather play than not be in the team. Oh, great cross. Well done by Trippier to get it out. But Trent Alexander-Arnold doesn't play centre midfield for Liverpool. And it's Serbia are doing well here. We need to be careful. It's a specialist position. And he'll get criticised by the media. But who's the person who's put him there? We've got specialists in Conor Gallagher, Wharton, and Mainu who can play that role. And he's put Trent there. It's a risk. But then when Trent doesn't do well, he'll get shit for it. But it's not his position. And it's the same for Phil Foden. This happened to get, you know, Paul Scholes got hounded out of the England team. He was being put on the left wing. And the press were like, Scholes needs to be dropped, all this shit. And he's playing on the left wing. And it's the same for Phil Foden. He is not a left winger. I know he can do it in a Pep system, but this ain't a bloody Pep system. So you've got Phil Foden playing on the left wing with a team that barely gets the ball in the final third. Of course he's not going to have a good game. And then people go, why doesn't Phil Foden turn up for England? Because we don't play anything like Man City, and he's playing in a position that's not his position. What do you use to spike up that hair? Says Irish lad. I use gel. I've used the same gel for years. You know, when I go and get my hair cut, they put the, you know, that mousse stuff in it. Like the sticky stuff. Oh, I can't stand it. I don't mind it when I've been to the hairdressers. It's the only time I'll keep it in, but I would never use it on a daily basis. Jamie says we need to bring Mainu on. No one's warming up, says Joe. Serbia, we said this. We said this at 1-0, half an hour in. You cannot, in international football, expect to dominate a game for 90 minutes in a tournament. It's very unlikely, unless you're going to play someone really shit that's qualified. And I know Italy did it to Albania, but look, Serbia ain't that bad. And one goal's not going to be enough. I like the substitution shown under the scoreline, says Danny on the gas. I don't know what you're talking about. This is where left-hand side has been non-existent, unfortunately, says Blues Enthusiast. This is where Southgate fails for me, says Nick P. Tactically, what can he do now to counter the growing threat? Generally, he does nothing, says Nick P. Yeah, you're absolutely spot on, Nick. You're absolutely spot on. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. I mean, I've managed bloody charity games and been more assertive than he is. He's managed England in a bloody tournament he's expected to win, and he's walking around with his hands in his pocket. He needs to be bloody doing something. Roll on subs. Get on with it. I mean, we've had one shot on target in the whole game. Don't lose sight of that. You know, we've had nearly an hour. I know they've not had a shot on target, but 3 shots and 1 on target in the whole game ain't good enough. Oh, good shot there, though. He heard me. Trent. It's a long way out. If it goes in, it's a worldie. Keeper's always going to deal with it, but you know, you never know. Can't stand. Chris, thanks for the follow on TikTok. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right hand corner on YouTube. We're very, very close to, well, we're heading towards 170k. Bottom right hand corner to subscribe. Get involved with that football. Mickey and Cami and Farid and Dara, thanks for your follows. England winning 1-0 here. We won't be set. I mean, look. I'm surprised nobody said it yet. I'll answer it anyway. We won't be sending shockwaves through the rest of the tournament and fear. But I never expected that anyway. Because we're not that sort of team. He's not, I don't think Trent's a midfielder. I really don't think he's a midfielder. And one of the things that really confuses me about Trent as a midfielder as well is that he's one of the best crossers of the ball in world football, and you put him in the middle of the pitch. That's one of the things that I find strange about Trent as a midfielder, is that you're forcing him to play the straight pass, which he can do, but you prevent him from playing the cross pass. Gordon for Foden, Gallagher for Trent. It'll give us more control, Alex. It'll give us more balance. It'll give us more structure. I mean, both Gallagher and Gordon are not as good as Trent and Foden, but in a system, sometimes you've got to make a systematic change. Still 1-0. to England. Look, keep a clean sheet. Game over. But get the second goal. Game over. Oh, in they go. In they go into the box. Good play by John Stones. Pickford's got hold of it. Yes, he has. Yes, he has. Yes, he has. They are pushing. Mitrovic has gone down here. Let's have a look what happened. I don't think there's any talk of a foul. No. Well, Mitrovic wants a foul. Stones with a good interception. Trippier gives him an elbow, but nothing that to me looks like a foul in that. Be very, very harsh. I don't think they'll review that. Mitrovic is asking for it. I don't think they will review it. I'm not seeing a penalty review. La 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 do do do. They have got Jovic, they have got Tadic. And they're both coming on. There you go. Well spotted. Mitrovic is coming off. Why no VAR, says Lappin? Because he wants a bloody penalty. That's why. Bloody why no VAR? Why no VAR? Because it wants a bloody penalty. It's not a penalty. It's definitely not a penalty. You're talking out of your arse. Arse talk in the chat. Why don't... good defending, says Diego. VI Jokers, welcome to the Members Club on YouTube. My elephant, Irish lad, you're boring me. I am not reading anymore. You were ageist at the start and you do not control this chat just because you do £2 super chats. You bloody prat. It's becoming more apparent that if England wins the Euros, it will be in spite of Southgate rather than because of him. Yabba dabba doo, Stephen Rossi. Thank you very much, Mike Drop. I said this before. If we win the Euros, it will be because of the players. If we don't win the Euros, it will be because of Southgate. And if we win the Euros, it will be despite Southgate because tactically he's a bloody joke. Well done. Why don't the English press demand more attractive football, Mark? You're a supporter. Should play more attractive. Again, another great point. The English press are stuck up Southgate's arse, and they have been for years. Rice has been our best player by a mile, says Morgan. That's 3 in a row. 3 great chats in a row. Brilliant stuff. Jude Rice double pivot, Foden cam, and Gordon left wing. That's 4 in a row, says Alks. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Dee, 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 dee. Thomas Frank would be 3-0 up, says Natalie. I'd be bloody 3-0 up, mate. Come on, let's get real. This is why we lost the final. This is why we lost the final against Italy. Play well, score a goal, switch off. It's unbelievable. It happens all the bloody time. This, you know, I wish I could go back to that chat we had in the first 10 minutes when we scored in the 15th minute with Bellingham. And someone in the chat said, how can you go from losing to Iceland at Wembley last week and then play like this against Serbia? And I'm like, I felt like saying, hold your bloody horses. How many times have we gone 1-0 up and then been completely shit? Exactly, as Mango says, score the second goal and then do this. This is why, if we don't win the Euros, it'll be on Southgate. And it's terrifying. Because you could start off in the quarter-final against Portugal, be bloody brilliant for 20 minutes, score a goal, and then you're going to shit yourself for the next 70 as we park the bus and switch off. I mean, we've been so crap since we went 1-0 up. What are the stats? They've nearly got more possession than us now. We've been shit second half. Let's call it how it has. We've been absolutely crap. I'm all in, says a beluga whale would manage this team better than him. Donny says if we don't win, it's because of Scott McTominay. Klopp for England job, says Jay. I bloody love Klopp to take this job. But look, Declan Rice has become the obvious best player on the pitch. Here we go. Oh, good final pass there by them. Looking forward to a back five in 7 minutes. Well, you know what? If he goes more defensive, is that not what we're talking about anyway? What changes would you make? I'm sat here in the chair talking to you. I'll tell you now, 5 minutes ago, I would have already took Foden off for Gordon and Trent off for Gallagher. Just to get hold of the game a little bit. To get a little bit of balance. And if Luke Shaw's on the bloody bench, he can come on for 25 minutes at left back. Shaw and Gordon to give us balance. And Gallagher to get hold of the bloody midfield. Simple as that. And he sat there with the same team that's been shit for 20 minutes. And actually, you know what? I might take Harry Kane off and put Ollie Watkins in for a little bit of the ball behind, or Ivan Toney as well. Because guess what? I'm trying to win a bloody tournament. I'm not trying to win friends. Harry Kane may be the best goal scorer in England's history, but he ain't doing anything and he's slow. So guess what? I might put Ollie Watkins on or Toney for a little bit of pace for the ball in behind. But we won't bloody see it. Because the guy's about as imaginative as a bloody paintbrush with no paint. We don't manage the team and the squad like we want to win it. The reason I think we can win it is because we've got a great collective of players and there's so many options. But for 20 minutes we've been shit and he hasn't changed anything. Because it's all about mates rates again, innit? Oh, I can't take Harry off. Oh, I can't take Phil off. Oh, I can't take Trent off. You bloody well can. He'd never take Harry Kane off. He'll go and score now. But you know what I mean? I love Harry Kane. Fantastic player. One of the best strikers in the world. But when Serbia are attacking and you've got a ball over the top, he's slow. Whereas Toney and Watkins aren't. Watkins is used to this type of game. Where you're playing a little bit defensive and, you know, you've got a furrow up front on your own. But he ain't got that. He ain't got that in his bloody locker, Southgate. He's a bloody championship coach at best. I tell you what, he'd be brilliant in the early 90s. Championship manager. Mark, thank you very much for that. Need a moment here. We're always capable of a moment. Oh. Luke Moore, thanks for your super chat. What other team has to come over both the other team and their own manager's bad tactics? That's a great comment from Stephen as well. Imagine if England played a team that could finish, they'd be losing by 2 goals. And this will be the problem when we play against a decent team. Southgate makes Sam Allardyce look like Pep Guardiola, says Ben. Make a poll, your pet rabbit or Southgate, says Jack. And Jose would have moved players around in the first 5 minutes of this half. Top managers spot things early. I'm not a top manager, you're not a top manager, and we know exactly what needs to be done, and he hadn't done it for 20 minutes. It's incredible that we've got a guy like this in charge of a set of players like this, and the only reason we're doubting our ability to win this tournament is because of the guy who's in control. And that's the scary thing. Even with him, we should win this tournament. Even with him, I think we'll win this tournament. Imagine if we had a coach that you actually thought was half decent. Ancelotti would be the perfect manager, says William. Serbian head coach made tactical adjustments 30 minutes in, so they've grown into the game. Well, here we go. Finally, he's made a sub soundscape. Conor Gallagher for Trent. Yeah, about bloody time. I'd still make another one. Lack of energy and ideas, naive management, says Ethan. I mean, in relation to Harry Kane, he's only just coming back from injury himself. Hodgson would do a better job, says Chris. Oh, Hodgson's a way better coach than Southgate, 100%. Should have known it was be this bad when he didn't take Branthwaite, says Cameron. Thanks for your super chats as well. Thanks everyone who's given us a follow on TikTok. And Beth says Gallagher over Mainu just sums this guy up. To be honest with you, Gallagher's more physical, isn't he? Mainu's more flair, and I think 20 minutes to go, he's always going to bring on that guy. Here's the cross. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. England reminded me of United under Ollie. No real tactics. I said that. I literally said that, Andreas, in the first half. Mark Deacon, thanks for the follow. Matom says, Mark, you're making it sound like England are losing. No, look, obviously if we win, it's a great result. But what I'm saying is I'm looking at this tournament about winning it. You're not winning a tournament doing this shit all the time. Like, there's no excuse at 1-0 up after 15 minutes to let the game go like this. I get tired of it. There's just no reason to control the game for 15 minutes and score and then completely give up control of the game. It's so frustrating. And it's why we lost the final. Chris said it could end up like the Denmark game. I think the real positive is that Serbia really haven't created anything. Carl Johnson says Foden still on is a joke. Yeah, he should take Foden off because he's absolutely lost in this game, really. And it's not his fault. Bring Pavlovic, the Serbian centre-back, to United now, says Grace. Let's not scout players on Euros. Mate, we've got 34,000 people watching here. You're very welcome. Thanks, everyone. Make sure you subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. England starting off in the Euros. Exactly how we knew they would. 1-0 up and baffling us with clueless tactics, having gone 1-0 up after 15 minutes. It's almost like this is why we lost the final in the Euros a few years ago. Start well, score a goal, and then completely switch off. Rice. No. Who's the worst villain, Southgate or Peter Rabbit, says Yazir. Thanks for the follow, Dan. Please do subscribe if you're on YouTube, by the way, because we're only currently 300 subscribers away from 169,000. So bottom right-hand corner to subscribe, get involved. Don't forget we're doing every single watch-along of the Euros on this channel. Oh, God. Bit of gas. Good quote, that. Whoopi Goldberg, Ghost, if you know, you know. Bit of gas. We are, tomorrow, I'm very much looking forward to Austria, France. I've played the game. You know, people will say, are you embarrassed by this England performance? The amount of tournaments I've watched over the years where England normally play on the third or fourth day, you watch every game, 3 or 4 teams play really well, and then England play and completely bring the mood down. And you go, it's embarrassing how the rest of Europe must watch England and go, why are they so shit with the players that they've got? And the answer is, we're shit because we're coached shit, basically. We might grow into the tournament. I still demand that we win this tournament, but it's been very, very disappointing from going 1-0 up. And statistically, we've had 4 shots and 2 on target. Imagine having Palmer or Kobe and bringing on Gallagher. Southgate masterclass as delicate official. Kevin says, I'm not able to watch the game. Are we just hanging on to a 1-0 lead and parking the... Well, no, that's the thing, Kevin. I think that's the frustration. If we were playing a good team and we're holding on, fine. But they've had no shots on target. So we've sort of done nothing from 1-0 up for about an hour against the team that we really could score the second goal against. But we've just given up momentum and possession. Mark, typical Southgate making life hard for us and the team from the start of the tournament. Germany and Spain are settled in, says Waxy. Crixus says it's almost like Southgate has not learned anything since the last tournament. No, you know what it is? It's almost like Southgate's not a good coach and everyone's known it for years. And yet the FA still stick with the guy. And really, who's to blame? Southgate or the FA? An amazing bunch of players that should be winning major tournaments, playing good football, coached by a guy who wouldn't get a job in the Premier League for any club because the FA like his clothes. Oh, he's got a nice haircut. He wears nice clothes. He does good press conferences. He's a nice guy. I'd rather have someone who wears crap clothes, crap hair, and is horrible, but knows how to coach a team. What do you think about Slovenia or Denmark? Well, it's hard to know, isn't it? Because, you know, Serbia might beat Denmark and Slovenia. You don't know how good they are. But, I mean, Slovenia looked half decent to me. And Denmark, you know, I don't know. It's hard to say. Ashley Frost, thanks for the follow on TikTok. Jared Bowen? Jared Bowen? The bloody hell? For Saka? Jared Bowen? What the fuck? I mean, nothing against Bowen, but let me just go through the list of options we've got on the bench. Like, you got Ollie Watkins. You got Cole Palmer for a start. You could put Foden on the right and put Gordon on the left. Foden's played on the right for Man City. Oh, I fucking don't know with this guy. I don't know. I just don't know. He baffles me. Absolutely baffles me. Oh, bar! Harry Kane! That actually would have been a great cross by Bowen. That would have been a very good goal, actually. Again, cross from the right. Did well, Bowen. Put the cross in. I think that would have been a foul by Kane, to be honest. I'd be very surprised. I don't think they would have given that goal. I think they'd have given a foul by Kane on the defender, to be honest. I'm done, says Chris. Another terrible tactical display. Palmer, Watkins, Eze and Gordon on the bench, and we bring Bowen on. I mean, look, Bowen did well there. I mean, I'm not digging out Bowen. He's not a bad player. I'm just saying, would you bring Bowen on when you've got Eze, Palmer, Gordon? I wouldn't. .13 to go. Cross comes in. I mean, Luke Shaw's clearly not fit as well, is he? Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Legends. Jammy, thanks for the follow. Do you think Kane should have scored that? Yeah, probably, but... Having Southgate as the head coach is like visiting your grandma. She'll give you sweets, but I don't think you'll becoming a winning athlete like that, says Bart. Drew, thanks for the follow. Does this finish 1-0? Oh, God. Don't jump in. Don't jump. Oh, God. Good, 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 good. Surely this is going to end up 1-1 or 2-0. I think the game is getting so stretched now. Can we bring Foden on, says Cam. Good one. Why has he only made one sub? No, he hasn't. Conor Gallagher's on for Trent. The FA avoided Clough. It's about PR and not winning, says Matt. Oh, yeah, mate. The FA... Don't get me started on the FA. Trippier's down. Bashir says, that's why he's the coach and you aren't. No, he's the coach because he's a politician who's played the game. Simple as that. He ain't, mate. Don't start living up Southgate's arse. He ain't a good coach. Don't play that game. Name me a job he'd get in the Premier League, and he's England manager. I mean, look at what he's wearing. He's wearing his bloody wife's t-shirt underneath a suit jacket. Even at least like in the last World Cup, he had a bloody waistcoat on or something. He's let himself go, Southgate. One thing he did used to have is he used to have quite nice style, but what's he wearing now? He's gone too far. He thinks he's a hipster now. No second goal could spell disaster, says BS. Trippier is having a bit of cream. Foden and Gallagher are terrible, says me. I feel sorry for Phil Foden. I just think it's just playing in a shit system, out of position, same as Trent's. I don't agree with it. We're only 100 subscribers away on YouTube from 170,000, so please subscribe, bottom right-hand corner if you haven't. Get involved with That's Football. Everybody's welcome here, whoever you support. We're doing every single game as a watch-along, so it's going to be very exciting next few weeks. I'm hoping it's going to culminate in England winning the Euros. Look, you can grow into a tournament. I'm not worried about that. I'm just a little bit worried about some of his bloody tactics and mistake. Look, all I want is a coach that learns from their mistakes. And I think this game is an absolute replication of the final we should have won at Wembley against Italy, where you start off well, you score a goal, and then you completely switch off and let the opposition have the ball. And then the momentum's gone. If Serbia equalised, they'd probably go and win it. It's the same as Italy. You can't, at any level of football, it's very difficult to switch off and then switch on again. And I don't know why we switch off so much under Southgate. Why at 1-0 did we not keep the consistency of keeping hold of the ball and doing what we're doing? But he seems to like to score and then switch off. And he does it the other way around as well. Remember against Germany? Oh, good shot, straight at Pickford. Tips it over for a corner. Remember that friendly against Germany? I think we were 2-0 down. Might have been a friendly, might have been a qualifier. I think it was a friendly. We're 2-0 down. We're playing absolutely shit. He makes a couple of attacking subs, and then for the next 20 minutes, we nearly win the game. And it's like, that's Southgate. He can't do anything consistently. He sort of switches between, moments and moments. And, we could have won this game 2 or 3-0 and be coming out of it going, this could be a big tournament. And remember I mentioned about confidence and belief. What are the players going to come out of this game with thinking? They're going to think, oh, God, same old shit again. Good block by Walker. That's a foul. Take the foul. No minutes for Palmer is disappointing. The fact that he's kept Foden on is baffling, and it's not Foden's fault, but he should have been brought off. Right, Rihanna says, can you give Rob a shout out? Rihanna Jane says, can you give Rob a shout out? He's a top tier athlete. Blues Enthusiast says, no minutes for Palmer is a joke. Remember he did the same thing against Croatia in 2018, says Moses. Yeah. Trippier free kick, 1-0. Everything's going really well. Switch off again. Semi-final of a World Cup, out. Final of the Euros, next tournament, 1-0 up. Everything's going really well. Switch off, you're out. I mean, why did they keep him in a fucking job when you've got a golden generation? Exactly what people say. If we win this tournament, it will be despite the coach. He is the reason we won't win it. Who should we replace him with? Anybody that's half decent at coaching. I don't even care if they're English. Just any half decent coach. You put Marco Silva in charge, I think we'd win the Euros. Doesn't need to be Pep or Klopp. Any half decent coach from the world. I mean, Bellingham's hardly been in the game second half as well. Foden's hardly been in the game. Kane's hardly been in the game, apart from the cross. Come on, just get the game won and we can all look forward to England's next game against Denmark on Thursday at 5 o'clock. Five minutes to go. 60 subscribers away from 170,000. Please subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. That's a terrible ball. Serbia will clear it. I mean, Guehi's done all right, hasn't he? I mean, defensively, England have been okay. Pickford's done okay. Trippier, Walker, Stones, Guehi, and of course, I think Declan Rice has had a good game. But offensively, it's been offensive. Arnie Jack, thank you very much for the follows. I tell you what, somebody in the chat just said we'll lose to Denmark. Well, getting 3 points here is going to be very important then. Kobe Mainoo's coming on for Bellingham. Which in itself is quite defensive. Should have took Kane off ages ago. English Rev says, I love the channel. Thanks, mate. Excuse me. I wouldn't do that in the pub, by the way. I'd just be on the beer, but with you lot, I like to hydrate with my beer, which is actually good advice. Bellingham's gone off for Mainoo. I just tweeted then I'd have took Kane off for Watkins or Tony 20 minutes ago, but he will never, ever, ever take him off. We need Kane to come out and call out Southgate's tactics. Well, he never will because he never gets bloody subbed. Rihanna says, happy almost birthday, top tier athlete in the comments. Would you take Potter over Southgate, says ACJ? Well, Potter played better football at Brighton than Southgate's ever dreamt about. I mean, whether Potter's good enough for England is debatable, but he's a better tactical coach. Why would he not play Mainoo and Palmer, says John? The fact that Ineos were considering Southgate scares the life out of me, says Ali. Well, at least they didn't do it. I go back to what somebody said in the first half, and I think the big saving point here has been that Serbia haven't really created any good chances. But you play like this against Spain. You play like this against France. Portugal, Germany, Italy, and they'll hurt you. Serbia, fine. But this lot, they will. They'll hurt you. With Serbia, okay, they're not that good, but yeah, they're not bad, but they're not the best teams, are they? You score a goal and then sit back against and switch off against France, you'll go out. And he's just not learning, and that's the thing. And it is the first game of the tournament, and of course, you know, you can grow into a tournament, you can get better. But the scary thing for me is that yet again, we're doing the same old shit. And that worries me. You know, we're switching off after 15 minutes like we did in the Euros final against Italy, like we did against Croatia in the semi-final. Score first and pack up. You can't do that. You can't do it. And he ain't learning. But you lot have been legends tonight. Don't forget we're doing all the watch-alongs, so make sure you get involved with That's Football YouTube channel. We're sometimes live on TikTok as well, so thanks to Lewis and Noah for the follow. But Europe, the rest of Europe's not going to be shaking in their boots about this from England. It's been okay. Wow, I'm going to do a match reaction. Whether it's been okay, I don't know. I don't know whether it's been okay. It's job done. But I got to be honest. I'm tired of job done as an England fan. Generation wasted, says Church. Nobody talking about Kane like they did Rasmus. Also, as if he plays full 90 every game, will burn out by the quarters, says Dan. Mate, in my match reaction for you, I'm going to go in on Kane. I'm going to go in on Kane. I like Harry Kane, but no player at international level should be playing 90 minutes when they've played like that. You shouldn't be carrying anybody. And Southgate and his bloody card club gets on my tits. He won't never take Harry Kane off. Oh, I can't take Harry off. Oh, I can't take Harry off. You bloody should be taking him off. You've got Ivan Toney, you've got Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins is one of the form... I mean, Ollie Watkins was like... Did anybody beat Ollie Watkins for goals and assists combinations this season? I think Salah, that was it. Would you rather have Ollie or this kebab shop worker Gareth at the wheel for England, says Danny? Well, I think there's big similarities between Southgate and Ollie. You know, defensively pretty decent, but offensively just relying on moments. And there's only been 4 shots on target in the whole game. Boring England, don't know how I'll watch every game for a full 90. It's that bad, says Cameron. Four minutes added on. It's hard to know what the reaction will be because the press live up his arse. Some fans live up his arse. But then there's a lot of fans like me who are just tired of it. It's the same shit every bloody tournament. But I don't want to be too negative because I still believe that we can win the tournament with the players we've got. But it's very, very difficult when you've got a guy who's in charge of them telling them to bloody down tools when they go 1-0 up. Serbia on the attack. Last 2 minutes. Crap cross. Good play by Trippier. They have been quite limited, Serbia, haven't they, really? I mean, they look a little bit like if they play till Christmas, they won't score. But it only takes a deflection or something. Simon says, boring, but job done. I agree, Simon. Yeah. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Get rid of it, Bowen. Boot it. Yes. Oh, no, that's not far enough for me. I've got to stop the cross here. Minutes ago. Yeah, but the thing is, though, I know some England players who've played for Southgate and they bloody love playing for England. And yet, some of them play for, like, Ancelotti, Klopp, Pep. They must know the guy is shit. Like, surely some professional pride kicks in at some point and they go, I'd actually like to win something. And the reason I'm not winning anything is because of this prat in charge. Hungary do play better football than his era. But with this win, at least we'll get through to the last 16. 3 points. We only need 1 from Denmark and Serbia, which we will definitely get. We might get 9. Might get 9. Five seconds. We're only 10 away from 170,000 subscribers on YouTube, by the way. Absolute legends. Make sure you subscribe. We'll take it. We'll take it. It's 1-0 to England. We will take it. It's a win. Let's not get too, over the top. I think, for me, I expect England to win the Euros. So I would look at that performance and say, there's no bloody way we're winning the Euros against better teams playing like that. But it's still a win. It's a clean sheet. Big shout out for Guehi and Stones and Rice. I thought they played really, really well. Offensively, it was a bloody joke after we scored, but we've seen this time and time again. And unfortunately, I have to try and remind myself here, we can win the Euros, but if we do it, we're going to end up doing it like that. Pragmatic. We are never going to play good football under Gareth Southgate. And it's that balancing act of how far you can grind it out, because we should be beating teams on talent, but he will not let us do it. I'm going to go and do a quick match reaction. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Absolute legends. There's a few things I want to get off in the match reaction as well. I mean, I'm not happy with Southgate, and I do think he should be taking Harry Kane off, but he lives right up his arse. Absolute legends tonight. You've been superb. Don't forget, we'll be back tomorrow for the 2 o'clock, 5 o'clock and 8 o'clock game. So make sure during the Euros, whether you're at work or not, get involved with the chat. It's an amazing chat. It's an amazing community, and you're all bloody legends. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Thanks for watching.